What's going on, y'all? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. This week on Wednesday Afternoon Worship, we are once again cracking open that new hotness, Lost Omens, Impossible Lands, to talk about Ravithra. If you're liking what you're seeing, like, subscribe, ding the bell. Stay caught up on all your stuff for now. Let's dive in. Okie dokie. So once again, we get into content that I've never got a chance to look at in first edition, except this one time when I threatened the party with one to behave. That's a whole different story. Ravithra, before becoming a deity, was a titan, specifically a Zenava titan. They deserve their own video, but shortest version right now. The gods created them a long time ago. They were like the first of all of the beings they created. Some of them rebelled, some of them wanted to make beings that would worship them in turn and make a hierarchy. Those beings would go on to become the first giants, and I was today years old when I realized they'd been statted out in TUI. Nice. I'm sure I won't have to use these to threaten my players. That'll be fine. Probably. But Ravithra was ascended to godhood and entrusted to oversee the karmic balance of mortal life, which is kind of what the Zenava do anyway. I suppose this is just the apex of that. She did so with an artifact known as the Chalice of Amrit, which I'm sure is being homebrewed right now by many people, including yours truly, which granted the deity the power to see all potential futures so as to better judge mortal souls. That gets real sketchy real quick. Spoiler, they call this one lawful neutral. You sounding real Winter Soldier right now. Ravithra is in conflict, presumably present day, because Ravithra is alive and granting spells to worshippers, in conflict with the goddess of corruption and destruction, Vazagati, that I'm guessing has a small stat block somewhere that I don't know about that I really wish had gotten published in here. This was a wild one to read when it says, Vazagati throttled Ravithra with a noose of shorn titan's hair, toppled the chalice, and carved off the titan's head with a bitter knife. So as I read that, the thought process was first, are you a titan or are you a deity? Followed immediately like, you're dead. Never mind, doesn't matter. Why are you in this book? Question mark. And then let me just point you to the art really quickly. You see that? I'm zooming in really hard on a decapitated person right now. This video is going to be demonetized. But present day, the goddess lives, watching over the world, doing her job while seeking to return to her former station. She's worshipped all over, well, everywhere. That's not the Inner Sea region. Anywhere from, like, inquisitors from Vudra who go hunting down people who would try to choose their fate, to in Nagajor, god, that's a callback, the Nagaji alongside Nal and Vadi consider her to be a progenitor deity. But mechanically, Ravithra is lawful neutral. They allow access to lawful good, lawful neutral, lawful evil, and neutral, so the 1E special. Their divine font is to harm. Their divine ability is intelligence or wisdom. Their divine skill is occultism. They grant access to the domains of fate, naga, sorrow, and truth, with the alternate domains of ambition and soul. So, like, hang on. I feel like, on the one hand, yeah, Ravithra is probably pretty ambitious to get Ravithra's throne back, but like, I feel like a worshipper of Ravithra with the ambition domain is like half a step away from deciding that they'd like to change their fate. I digress. Clerics of Ravithra may cast Charm as a first level spell, Animal Form but only Snyx as a second level spell, and Clairvoyance as a fourth level spell. Her edicts are to enforce Karma's pitiless judgment, shame fools, okay, yeah, I'm into it, kill traitors, and pursue the Chalice of Amrit, that artifact that definitely won't get dropped in an AP somewhere, don't worry about it. Anathema to her is to make decisions erratically or randomly, provide aid to Vazagati or her followers, or engage in treachery. Her favorite weapon is either Jaws or a light mace. Should one avatar into Ravithra, one gains a speed of 50 feet, ignoring difficult terrain and greater difficult terrain, and they get an immunity to immobilize, strictly better than freedom of movement. A Jaws melee attack that deals 60-10 plus 6 piercing damage, a tail swipe melee attack with disarm, reach 15, and trip that does 68 plus 6 damage. Okay, so lots of things here. Raise your hands, kids, if at some point in your life you made that very edgy I judge heretics and murder heretics character, or replace heretics with whatever like group of people you're judging because you played Devil May Cry in high school and you're like, yeah, you know, I'm into this edge and violence. Just me? Yeah, okay, fair enough. There are obviously a copious amount of deity concepts one can get behind with that, but with Ravithra, we're tying it into karma. You're not being judged because you have affronted a deity or because you've committed a crime or something like that. No, the thing you did that is judgment worthy is just getting the natural consequences of, and you are merely an agent of a being who can interpret that on a perfect level. I'm sure the scholars go on and on ever more about, was that karma or was that an overreach? Or maybe we could have been a little more nice. When you know the absolute truth of someone, yeah, that's pretty black and white. Again, in a concerning Captain America and the Winter Soldier kind of way. But concerning makes for interesting narratives, so like, go off, y'all. I think a lot of times when you see those characters as well, there's this point where like they'll point to their alignment, which is so often lawful neutral, and they won't work with anyone who isn't of that kind of bent. It makes for a really shitty us-them kind of thing. However, check this out. Grabbing it right from the book. To the repugnance of many, dealings with Rixasha, have also been welcomed by Ravithra's followers. Such adherents view the fiends as souls judged properly and therefore worthy of trust, despite their tyrannical bent. Because, like, you know they'll backstab you, and they've already been judged as, yeah, you're bad, you suck, but also you're good at doing murder and sabotage and subterfuge and shit. So a similar line of logic could go to devils or insert whatever, like, flavor of outsider you want to grab from, which can make for really interesting party dynamics because so often, right, you just see that one corner of the alignment chart filled in and that's about it. This lets you reach way, way farther, which in a meta sense for party design, pretty fucking cool. And from that pretty fucking cool, there are a lot of places, basically anywhere, one can set up a character like this. It's like, sort of like when we talked about Vinishvaki, I guess. Here's a card, follow it. It's like if you wanted to play a Hell Knight, but you didn't want like that much edge. At this point, it's like, well, did you want to play a Hell Knight, but did you want to be motivated not by a like treatise that some dude wrote a long time ago, but instead, do you want to ask your deity for who will be judged and who deserves this? And no thoughts, head empty, the thinking process, because Ravithra knows. Ravithra's seen way far ahead, and it doesn't matter how many orphans they've adopted now. Later, they'll do one too many bad things, and they suck. That's dangerous logic. That's what we're going to call it. God. What do y'all think? Are we rolling her up? Tell me about your favoritist edgy assassin character that you've made in the comments below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.